Let's talk about Brock Purdy, why don't we? Brock Purdy has been getting a lot of praise, and I think deservedly so. He has played really efficient in his first two career starts. He's getting praise in the media.
And that is the brilliance of Brock Purdy, because Brock Purdy is an MVP in a variety of ways.
Coaches.
But I thought Brock had a hell of a game.
And fans. I mean, this is a really likable guy. Mr. Irrelevant, last pick in the NFL draft, comes out and is playing with the best team in the league. It is now their starting quarterback and is a MVP candidate. It is a story deserved to be told. But I want us to just pump the brakes just a little bit on the Brock Purdy hype train, because we've seen this story before.
With the 262nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Fransisco 49ers select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State.
This Brock Purdy fella is cerebral.
And Brock Purdy has been a wonderful, wonderful quarterback.
Here's Purdy out of the gun, looking for McCaffrey on the goal.
Let's take a time machine and let's go ahead 6 years. What could Brock Purdy look like? Who was Brock Purdy? Who had a great team around him, a great running back, a good defense, players all around him. It was Dak Prescott. We have seen this before. Dak Prescott, 4th round pick. Brock Purdy, 7th round pick. Comes in for an injured player, injured starting quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo and Tony Romo. A lot of media members were saying some really great things about Dak Prescott in his first year. Just look at some of these headlines. Look at this from the Dallas Morning News. I saw John Elway as a rookie. I saw Jim McMahon, Dan Marino, Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Andrew Luck, and Russell Wilson as rookies. But what I saw from Dak Prescott this season is something I've never seen in the 43 years I've been reporting on the NFL. I saw the greatest rookie season by any quarterback in league history. These are the things that were being said about Dak Prescott after 16 games. Sounds kind of familiar to the things that we're saying about Brock Purdy 10 games into his career. Now, I don't want you in the comments just completely destroying me because you think I'm a hater. I'm not. I don't know if Brock Purdy is going to be a Hall of Fame level player. I don't know if he's going to win a Super Bowl. I don't know. What I am saying is that we need to pump the brakes on fitting Brock Purdy for Canton in his gold jacket right now. Brock Purdy is playing right now with a ton of weapons. He is the best running back in the NFL. He has the best left tackle in the NFL in Trent Williams. The number 1 defense in the league. Joey Bosa, Fred Warner, arguably the best players at their position. And he has a top 3 NFL head coach on the offensive side of the ball. It is a perfect recipe for Brock Purdy to come in here and operate things really smoothly. Again, he is good. He's layering throws over Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, beautiful anticipation. Knows exactly where he's going. Decisive. I like what I'm seeing from Brock Purdy. But in 2016, Dak Prescott looked a lot like this. He had the best running game in the league. Zeke Elliott led the league in rushing attempts and rushing yards and was 3rd in rushing touchdowns that season. He was the number 1 offensive line, led by probably the best left tackle in the league, and had some decent weapons on the outside, definitely ones that are able to contribute like Des Bryant. Defensively, they actually had the best rush defense in the NFL. They allowed the fewest rushing yards per game in the league that season. Had decent defense and had an offensive head coach. And I don't think anybody thinks that Jason Garrett is as good as Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. So I wanted to see what these stats were. I know what was being said about Dak Prescott, and now everyone's saying, well, Dak Prescott's never had it. He's never been that guy. Well, in his first 16 games, it was talked about in the news, in the media, the local papers, just like Brock Purdy. So let's look at some stats. I just want to look at the first 10 starts because that's what Brock Purdy has done, and I want to be fair to Brock Purdy. So let's look at the first 10 games. All right, so the first 10. What are the wins? Okay, well, Brock Purdy's 10-0, never lost a career game where he started and finished the game. 10-0 in the regular season. Dak Prescott, through 10 games, was 9-1. His one loss was his rookie debut against New York Giants. Lost 20-19. All right, so let's look at completion percentage. Okay, 69% compared to 67.9% for Dak Prescott. All right, what about passer rating? Well, Brock Purdy has a 114 passer rating. Dak had a 108.6. Pretty comparable. Touchdowns, Brock Purdy edges them out 22-17. Interceptions, well, Dak threw fewer picks. 4 interceptions to 2 picks for Dak Prescott in their first 10 career starts. These are pretty close numbers. Touchdowns, completion percentage, interceptions, all pretty much the same. Again, I don't want you to think that I am hating on Brock Purdy. We know that in the NFL, there seems to be kind of 2 categories of teams. There's one that has a really good roster and a competent quarterback that is cheap, or you have to have paid your quarterback and you just hope that they're Superman. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers fall in that first category. Really good team, cheap quarterback that is competent. The Philadelphia Eagles, right now you're not paying a ton for Jalen Hurts. That contract that he just signed kind of kicks in later. You're cheap, have a really good roster built around him, and you can make a run at the Super Bowl. The Lions, Jared Goff is not a top-level, highest-paid quarterback in the league. You have a really good team around him. The defense has looked really good. The offensive line might be the best in the NFL. That's one model. Then there's the other model. There's the model of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, where you have a really good quarterback. You hope that you can build enough pieces around them to win enough games and to compete for a Super Bowl. But that price tag on that quarterback's pretty high, so they better be good. And then there are teams that the price tag on the quarterback is pretty high, and they're just kind of average. And that's the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott. Right now, Brock Purdy is cheap and efficient. But man, you can look, and in 4 years when Brock Purdy's getting paid $40 million a year, $45 million a year, that roster looks thin. You can't have the best left tackle. You can't have the best running back in the league. Instead of the second best tight end, according to Pro Football Focus and George Kittle, it might be the 31st best tight end because you can't afford it. And that's when we'll see if Brock Purdy is really elite quarterback or if he's just benefiting from a really great system on a cheap contract with a lot of great players around him. I'm not here to just completely dog on Brock Purdy. I think he's good and I think he's capable. But what I am here to do is to prove to you that this has happened before. It's Dak Prescott. He had an incredible start to his career, and now you can't win a Super Bowl with him. Because when he gets paid and you can't have the support around him as players get older, he's not the guy. And it's going to be interesting to see in 2 or 3 years what happens with Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers team. Because they might be kind of fast-forwarding, staring into a mirror. Because Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy maybe have similar career trajectories. Be sure to subscribe. Make sure to comment. I know you're going to hate me. Oh well. See you next time.